everybody.
It's Fresh Off the Show, and I'm Jenny.
I'm Phil, and we are joined today by a very special guest. We have comedian and writer Ali Wong.
Yay!
All right, so this is Fresh Off the Show, the unofficial live Fresh Off the Boat after show. We're here to discuss and debrief the episode that we just saw, which is episode is called Phillip Goldstein.
Oh, is it?
Right? Yeah.
I always rely on you for these technical
Come on,
things.
Jenny, get on.
I know. And before we go on, we just want to showcase the very fresh off the boat snacks we have today. Kool-Aid. What are these called?
Squeeze-Its.
Squeeze-Its. You know what I mean? This is like any sort of immigrant child would have coveted these American packaged items. And then
we got, of course,
keep it real.
Keeping it real.
Yeah.
And then people, this appeared on episode 1 of Fresh Off the Show, and so people are like, "Are you still eating this? It's still good, y'all. It's the same bag. It's still good. Whatever."
We're not getting any money from this. But if anybody from Pocky or Shrimp Chips, whatever, they want to send up a box of this.
Do you know that they're Pocky sticks for men?
Yeah, Pocky for men.
It was so weird, and someone offered it to me once, and I was like, I don't want chest hair.
Gross.
I think they're like dark chocolate, right?
They're just dark chocolate.
For men.
Clearly. Well, anyway, so let's recap. First of all, what happened in today's episode, just in case the people didn't catch it. We finally saw a new Asian kid at school, you guys. What?
Yeah, I knew we were all such big fans of Albert Tsai for Trophy.
Hang on, I just want to mention Ali Wong is one of the writers of Fresh Off the Boat.
Yes.
So I forgot to mention that.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Like writer in general, but also for Fresh Off the
So
Boat.
Ali is privy to information, all that kind of stuff, and so we have an inside scoop here tonight. So
yes,
thank
so
you,
the
Ali.
other Asian,
So we were big fan. Like I remember watching Trophy Wife and being like, "Who is that kid?" When I saw Albert Tsai, I mean, his comedic timing, his the character he created on that show, not that he created, but just his character and the way that he portrayed it was so original and funny and something you've never seen before. So we always knew that we wanted to have Albert Tsai featured on the show, and this was the perfect episode for him to be in. And it was hard to get him because he doesn't live in Los Angeles.
Oh.
So we didn't know if he was going to be able to come, but he did.
He was a tough get.
He was a tough guy.
Albert Tsai is so good. He's like a big yet little man.
Yeah, he's like totally like mature, like he's like adult trapped in this like little guy's body, but he brings so much maturity to this role. He's perfect for this actually.
Yeah, and so so this is the one other Asian kid at school finally for Eddie. Turns out he's an adoptee. He has Jewish parents, right? His name is Phillip Goldstein, and the cultures are clashing. You think they would hang out, but no.
Because I remember we proposed early on. We were like talking like, dude, wouldn't it be great if like another Asian kid showed up at school? Like, what would that be like? And then turns out they have absolutely nothing in common.
I know, which I feel like is like, I think for network TV, kind of sophisticated racial issue.
Yeah, it's so progressive. It's something I think that you've never seen on television is two kids who are Asians who don't have an accent, and they don't get along, just like white people sometimes don't get along.
They're not cut from the same cloth.
They're not cut from the same because they have different personalities and different faces and different I mean, there's such diverse. Like sometimes I don't get along, or I didn't have the same upbringing as a lot of Asian people from the East Coast because there's not a lot of I'm half Vietnamese, and there's not a lot of Southeast Asian people on the East Coast, and they didn't have the same upbringing. They grew up really, really, I grew up in San Francisco where there's generations and generations of Asian people. So I have a very different perspective. And just to showcase a little bit of that in a TV show, a network TV show, I think is a really big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also making the kid an adoptee, which is
I know. Which I really wonder though, what the adoptee Asian folks, Asian Americans think about that.
I mean, I don't think the episode was so much about him being adopted as it was just being super different from super different from Eddie, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the nurture, not nature thing, and it's also kind of I've been thinking a lot about why do we still have to battle this perpetual foreigner stereotype thing? And it's also kind of look at this kid, and we didn't do it for that story, but it's a cool outcome of it where it's he's brought up by Jewish parents and he has like his own personality that's, you know, not connected at all to Asian culture because that's just how he didn't grow up.
Yeah. I know. That first conflict was when they realized lunchtime, stinky tofu versus gefilte fish. Worlds apart.
Yeah.
Worlds apart.
Can we talk about, because I don't know about you guys, but I really felt this, the sort of the teachers and stuff, like trying to pair these two together, like instant best friends, like automatic, like trying to like, you know, just forcing them on each other, you know, like, I remember when I was in like first grade, there was a new girl from Korea who came to our school, didn't speak a word of English. And then my teacher, like, you know, pulls me aside, like, you know, so-and-so is from Korea. And I thought maybe you guys could talk to each other. And so they separated us and we went to like a back room where I was just kind of like,
Get away from me.
I don't talk to girls who speak English. I'm not gonna speak to, you know, I was just like, you know what I mean? I was like, I was so embarrassed, you know, and just like eking out, just like.
Dude, you're blushing now.
Yeah.
You're a grown ass man.
But I just remember, like, you know, like, just because you're Asian, they kind of like put you together and make you like. I remember being seated next to other Asians just cause, like, you know.
Yeah, and it's just so funny. I mean, what's funny to me watching now is like how the teachers have the best intentions.
Yeah.
But it just the execution is all wrong.
Right.
You know.
What was the line with that principal where he takes a picture and then he sends it to like his
ex-wife and he says, "See, I'm open, Rebecca."
I'm open-minded.
Yeah.
Kids being used as white people's props.
The other thing I forgot about this episode was, so I remember we wanted to do like, you know, something that focused more on Mitch because Paul Scheer is so funny and we feel so lucky and blessed to have
by the
him
way,
on the
Paul
show.
Scheer just favorited my little tweet about him, which makes me
wonderful.
very happy.
Hello.
Shout out to Paul Scheer.
Yeah.
I basically said Paul Scheer shows us that all comics should have at least some time in the tight biker clothing.
Yes.
As comics, we
Instant
should
comedy.
show off the curves. You know what I mean?
Yes.
More comics, girl. We gotta
It's
do
all
it.
about the bait. Yes.
Okay, so we got some questions. Let's see here. I think the username is LOL for life, but it says, "Why was a junior high kid holding a pre-calculus book?"
Oh.
I don't
Hey,
know.
I'll be honest. In 8th grade, I was learning like geometry.
Nerd. No.
Yeah.
This person should work in props.
Yeah.
If they're that
Yeah,
observant.
very
I mean,
meticulous,
You
yeah.
have a future LOL
Yeah.
for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gene Kayan says, "Fresh Off the Boat has the most diverse writers' room in the biz. Respect."
It is
Respect,
true.
Ali.
Yeah. Well, it's all because of Nanachka Khan. She created it. And it's one of those things that when you're in the room, I mean, it's my first writer's room, so it felt like that's going to be my standard now.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to always,
Yeah.
it's going to always be like that, hopefully. But it goes to show you that like a diverse writer's room, you shouldn't do it just to do it. You should do it because it makes a better show.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
She's so badass. Can I just say?
She's so badass. She's the
Nanachka
shit.
Khan.
She a
Yeah.
queen.
We Jenny and I went to this panel at the Writers Guild that you were at, and it had it seemed like it was just all the sort of minority writers.
Yes, it
who are
was all the
who are a majority in this writers' room, though, right?
Yes.
And you guys were. I mean, not everybody there was Asian, but they definitely, you can see the sensibility that they brought to a show about a minority family. You know what I mean? And I thought that was super. I mean, you just saw that. It really reflects in the writing, you know.
Yeah, and that's what's been cool about the response to the show too, is seeing like a lot of Black families watch the show, a lot of Latino families will be like, "Oh my God, my family moved from like we moved to like this place that was like all white when I was 10 years old too, and like I can totally identify with it." And like I think all kids of immigrants can identify with like the food, the lunch thing, and feeling embarrassed and shame and just being an outsider. You know, I mean, that's a very universal thing. And I think having a diverse room with not just Asian people, but a lot of different people of color was really important to bring that sort of universal feeling that came organically, you know? So I also wanted to say that I forgot that Parker Young was in this episode.
Yes.
Parker Young.
He's the lasso guy. Who
Oh, that's his
plays,
name. Yes,
Mitch's
we had.
rival. When he came to the table read and talked to me, I was talking to him and leaning forward. And I was so like sweaty and just overcome with like passion and like I was
Wow.
blushing and I literally fell out of my chair and I almost hurt myself. And all of the writers looked at me afterwards and they were like, and they wouldn't let me live it down for the rest of the season. So
That's, you know what? I appreciate your vulnerability in sharing that.
We see. We got a question here from Dan's channel. I think after some folks complain that the only black kid turns out in the pilot to be the one who calls Eddie a slur, I love that they have Eddie this time turn away Asian kid in favor of the black kid.
Yeah. So at the end, what happens is Eddie and Philip unfortunately don't make a love connection.
Right.
At the very end, we see that, you know, little Eddie actually is able to bond with I forgot the name of the black kid. Walter.
Yeah.
From the first episode that had originally called him a chink, and like bonded over both wearing Beastie Boys t-shirts.
Yeah.
Right? Which is amazing. And then of course it gives us that line of like,
it's a callback to the first episode,
show, which is only in America basically is an Asian kid and a black kid bonding over white kids.
White Jewish rappers. Yeah.
White Jewish
I
rappers.
love the Beastie Boys, man.
Yeah, so amazing. So I know, because that was a concern for a lot of folks from the first episode.
Yeah.
Like, even though the whole delicate notion of using chink in primetime TV was like, people thought that it was well done.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it was a black kid doing it and the only other minority, you know, in the whole white school felt a little icky for some people. Like, I don't know.
Sure.
Do we have to battle it out? But unfortunately, it reveals a reality that, like, sometimes when you're on the bottom of the totem pole, you kind of do feel like you have to battle it out. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So-
We got a question from, this is for Ali. D Chang asks, any reason that you guys picked a Chinese adoptee versus a Korean adoptee? Because factually, there were only 16 kids adopted from China in 1985.
Oh,
And 0 in
whoa.
1984. Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
D Chang.
This person has a future as a historian.
Well, this is 1995,
People applying
right?
to
So,
be
1995.
profs, historians. Really, I think what happened is that we fell in love with Albert Stein.
Yeah,
and
and he's Chinese.
I mean, sure, it probably would have been there, but there are tons of Chinese kids who are adopted too. Again, it's like it's one
Yeah.
of these.
well, it sets it up so they're both Chinese, at least
Right.
racial,
It
like
works-
biologically Chinese, but like, you know, like.
Yeah, it works kind of better for the story too,
Right.
where like you would assume that they would get along
Yeah.
because they are
Mhm.
both Chinese.
Yeah.
So
But I think that is kind of, someone had asked on Fresh Off the Show hashtag, like, oh, we don't really get into like adoptee kind of how
Yeah.
that happens. And
Yeah.
the show isn't about that, but I feel like, you know, like Modern Family plays a lot, right, with the adoptee thing. I feel like for whatever reason, adoptees for like white American shows, they feel very comfortable referring to it because it's like a thing. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
But like, does any show really get into like the process of adoption? Do they really show the perspective of the adoptee?
right, and this show's not called like Fresh Off the Adoption. Like, it's not like the
Well,
you know. Yeah.
So I think that's just another
I
element.
think there's a
It's-
show
it's
there, though.
something-
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
there's a show there, and there's something that we can do, you know, possibly
next
in,
show.
in next season or something, or next
Yeah.
season, sure.
I know.
We got a question from Hanguk Power.
Hanguk Power.
Yeah, okay. Question for the panel. Two-part question. All right. Do you guys feel that Fresh Off the Boat makes the average American become more open-minded towards Asian and Asian Americans?
Huh. Who's the average American, you guys? I don't think we are. I'm asking the studio audience here, and it's tough because I don't know if I can speak on behalf of the average American.
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, I think people can see Asian Americans as more three-dimensional people.
I think so.
Hopefully, because these are characters who like have weaknesses, have strengths, are leads in a show.
I know.
So in that sense, I think it can't help but, and they're being funny too.
Yeah.
So I think it can't, for people who watch it, I think it can't help but have some sort of influence.
Yeah, definitely some degree of empathy towards being like, yo, like I know what it's like to be different, you know what I mean? And guess what? Like, being Asian sometimes means you're very different, and people call you out on that, you know? And I think that definitely raising that and using that, but using it in a comedy way makes it a little more palatable to talk about like racism and getting picked on, bullying, and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
feeling different.
Or seeing like also that, you know, it's crazy that we have, it's like it's a pretty much all an all Asian American cast
Yeah.
with Asian American leads, and that they can carry a show. Whereas like before,
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if on any show that an Asian American person has been number one on the call sheet.
Yeah.
I mean, so that in and of itself.
Definitely
By
not
the
the
way, who's
comedy.
number one on the call sheet?
Yeah.
Do we know?
Well, that's not,
I'm like, oh,
it's one of the many talented characters that you've seen on the show.
just
so.
curious. I had to ask. Just saying, the hierarchies of Hollywood. So
Reality.
diplomatic. So diplomatic. Good job.
Can we talk a little bit about there's another scene that I felt like really resonated with me. This one is when they all went over to dinner at and then they have to sit around and watch this kid play cello, and I'm
my
like,
gosh,
yes.
how many times have I gone over to our family dinner somewhere and then I have to like sit there and listen to like some better Asian kid play cello or piano or something. They're just like,
Better Asian.
yeah.
Better Asian.
And that's something that like not only I feel like Asian American kids can identify with, but like any child of an immigrant where it's like, look how awesome my kid is. Look how awesome my kid is, where
Yeah.
it's like a battle, and when there's always gonna be a better Asian kid. There's always gonna be a better Mexican kid,
Dude.
and the parent will always ask themselves like, really, where did I go wrong?
I know.
Where did this kid go right? And then as the kid, you feel like shit.
Yeah.
Because like I remember my best friend when she went to law school, I was like, she's gorgeous too. I was like, you cannot tell my mother to law school. And I was
And
like,
she
just
modeled.
hold up. Yeah, I was like, she's like a freak of nature. She's like a 5'8" beautiful Asian woman with like huge lips. So gorgeous. Like when she puts on lip gloss, it looks like the ocean. She's just like beautiful. And I was like, do not tell my parents you're going to law school or they will like kick me out of their gene pool,
Is this only an Asian immigrant thing? Do other immigrants have
No,
the like
I'm
comparison
sure
thing?
Everybody. I mean, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had like that scene. I had flashbacks. I'm just like,
Oh God.
oh man, like watching some kid play the piano and be like, I can't. I'm sorry. I run a blog, I'm gonna go to run a blog, like.
Well, we have Lainey, a buddy of ours, commented on Twitter that it bothered her that we have these Lunchables and they're not open and we're not eating them. So I'm just gonna try it.
Go to town.
You know what?
I don't eat meat that comes in a circle.
Oh, I love eating meat that comes in.
There's a cultural exchange happening here because this is like,
I have to
on the
say
sh-
though, I never ate a Lunchables back when it was cool. Back when it was like Eddie Wong time and like it was like.
I remember I wanted that shit, and like I quickly realized that
God.
You love the
kids,
cheese, dude.
that moms who give their kids Lunchables don't love their kids.
Yes.
Yeah, you're a straight up
It's
bad
a
mom.
lunch of
Lazy.
lazy moms.
Yeah, like if you're in Santa
Yeah.
Monica and you bring this shit around to a school in Santa Monica,
This is
it'd be
for you,
like,
Lainey.
what is wrong with your mom?
Boom.
Okay, let's try the
Um.
Oh God. Oh.
So yeah. Along those lines, Rira Yu says, loved how this episode introduced the notion that Asian parents compared their children to other Asian kids. Yes, precisely.
Mm-hmm.
Jean says, totally looking forward to seeing where the Eddie's new friendship goes.
Uh-huh.
Can you speak to anything about that?
I remember we always like reminded ourselves that we need. I'm not positive. I don't remember.
Okay.
We wrapped in December.
Okay.
I have a little bit of amnesia.
This Lunchables tastes like day-old pizza.
Um,
I just have to say.
It tastes like neglect.
What flavors is this pizza?
That's what that shit tastes like. A lazy ass mom.
Neglect favored pizza.
People used to make fun of me. I'm Vietnamese, and I used to bring these there these like clear rice cakes that are really sticky with like shrimp and pork in it, and they're wrapped in
that sounds
banana
damn
leaves,
good.
and they had fish sauce, and all the kids would make fun of me and
Fuck those kids.
Fuck those kids
Fuck
and say
those
like
kids.
they look like sticky monsters or whatever. And then now like it's all the hip shit.
I know.
They
now
sell that now at Trader Joe's now.
I know.
Yeah.
People gobbling that up.
Gobbling that up. Bone marrow. Bitch, I was there when I was 10. Bone marrow up like a straw.
On
Totally.
top of
Where
that.
were you?
All right. Our Ruel Gaviola says the name of our Fresh Off the Boat fan club needs to be the Pacific Rim Club.
High five, Ruel.
Dude, that
High
was dope. Membership 2.
I know. Ruel's a solid Fresh Off the Show watcher.
Yes.
Thank you.
Consistent.
Oh, love it. He also always has good zingers.
That's what's always really funny too about those clubs. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I grew up going to private school, and those clubs are always like, we're like 6 strong. And then you get like a teacher whose mother's mother is possibly Korean.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, I went to a big, lots of Asian high schools. So Honestly, the most Asian club was the ski club where all the Japanese Americans were.
When you go to school that is like like so many
So
Asians,
Asian.
is there a point to having like was there an Asian
We
club?
did though.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
We had like the Chinese students, the Japanese American. There was a VSA.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, we were so big. It was
It's like
almost
UCLA.
like exactly. Our high school
You
was
went
so
to
big.
the University of Caucasians Lost Among Asians.
Exactly. So
You
that's
went
why
to
I
high
didn't go to
school.
UCLA or Berkeley. I was like, I'm done with this Asian shit.
So where did you go to college?
Swarthmore College outside of
Oh.
Philadelphia, like the whitest.
That's small and
Nerdiest.
super white. Yeah.
And you came back crying
I
to
did.
LA. Mhm.
I did.
Come
I
back
don't
to
know
the
how
promised
good you
land.
had
Yeah,
it.
you have a
And
good
now,
here.
white comics make fun of me for not having any white comic friends.
Yeah, because you're like, just get away from me. I had enough of you people
Yes.
at Swarthmore.
How do you know, Allie? How do you know?
Well,
Whatever.
I mean, it's really, I don't know. I think it's very powerful to grow up in a big Asian American community. I
Yeah.
think it's very healthy.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
So shout out North High. What up?
North High. Torrance, holla.
Holla. So what the other sort of subplot to all this and how it wove in with Philip, our little cute adoptee kid, is somehow Eddie made it so that he could use the fact that his mom liked little Philip to get himself to the Beastie Boys concert,
That's right.
Mhm.
which I thought was a kind of a fascinating little story turn.
Yeah.
Writers, well
Very
done.
clever.
Very clever
We
little
had
Eddie.
we had also pitched that like at Les Miserables that Albert Sy
Oh, God.
would just be like crying. And then I don't
So moved.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened to that, but it would have been really funny if he was just like weeping, like.
I think that would have been within his character.
That would have been within his
You
character.
guys didn't take it there.
I don't remember what happened. I mean, there's so many things that get pitched and like
Yeah.
don't go through, and that
Yeah.
the scripts change so much. But I mean, I was kind of expecting that when I watched this episode, and I forgot. Maybe it didn't make it in.
Yeah.
Well, you couldn't have
Um,
chosen more polar opposite things you could be fans of, Les Mis and,
And
Beastie Boys. So
yeah.
you know,
But I was fans of both growing up.
Oh,
I
So-
will admit that
Temperature.
to this day I've never seen Les Mis
What?
ever. I've never. No,
Ugh.
I couldn't sing you a song. I don't know. I've never didn't watch the movie when it came
Honestly,
out.
for a moment,
No.
I was kind of imagining a Beastie Boys Les Mis mashup.
Dude,
Like
that would've
someone
been-
needs to write Les Beastie Boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Somebody's
want
out there
that.
working on it right now.
I want that. I do.
Mashup.
I think we had also, I remember we had toyed with the idea of Philip going over to Eddie's house
Oh.
too,
Oh,
for
yeah.
dinner instead.
Oh, for
And how-
Chinese food.
Yeah, and how funny that would be if he was like, if Jessica like brought out a dish and he was like, oh, I don't eat pork. And then she turned on him. What the
How dare
fuck
you?
Chinese person that you don't eat pig?
No, but there are vegetarian, like there's like Muslim Chinese people, there's like vegetarian
Right.
Chinese people, or like Buddhist Chinese people. But I remember growing up, my mom, we would walk by the Islamic Beijing Chinese restaurant in
Yeah.
San Gabriel Valley, and I'd be like, "What is that?" And she's like, "No, we're Chinese. We don't eat there." I'm like, "That's Chinese."
Yeah. She's like, those are the thick bread onion Chinese. We don't.
I was like, "Wow, man, that's a big part of our identity here, huh?"
I actually kind of like the fact that in the end, like, Philip and Eddie don't really like they like the easy way would have been just become friends, stuff like that. But like
Right.
Philip turns out to be like a punk ass kid who leaves
Yeah.
leaves him behind, right? So I'm like,
Selfish.
you know,
and
like-
that's a very like kind of precedent I think that the creator showrunner Nanachka set was that we can't do anything like that's easy.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
that is expected. So
Yeah.
like yes, I think probably like a standard network sitcom storyline would be for them to find some sort of common interest and bond and then become friends at the end despite all of that. But it was like, fuck
No.
that, we're not
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that. He's gonna be friends with Walter, so
I like how Jessica chews him out, and then what's he say? Like, mic drop. It's like,
oh yeah,
"Who's Mike?"
you dropped the mic, Mom. Yeah.
Who's Mike? And then she ends up taking him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which makes me so happy because I'm like, I wish my parents took me to stuff.
Did they not take you to stuff?
No.
Oh man.
There's no way in hell
They were
my
just
parents would take me
working.
to a Beastie Boys
I
concert
know.
Oh
ever.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
I remember seeing at the VC Film Fest some really touching, or maybe it was when I was at UCLA, this documentary about this Hmong girl, and she was talking
Aw.
about how when she was in 4th grade, her parents took her and her friends to New Kids on the Block.
What?
And they could like barely speak English and they didn't know but they knew that it meant so much to them, and they like drove all their friends there and bought them, and I was like,
That's love.
yeah.
I
In
know.
KOTV, man. Damn.
Well, we're almost wrapping up. So before we go, any comments from our awesome studio audience? Which, by the way, just shout out to the Fobluckers. There's a special crew who usually at their own home, they have a Fobluck or a potluck with Fresh Off the Boat, and they watch our after show as well. But they brought it here to our studio, chicken fajitas and Lunchables, and I feel like I should drink this.
Dude, take a swig. I want to.
All right.
I'm scared.
I got it just for you.
Are those current? Are those?
No, they're from the shelf in
They got it from
1995.
eBay.
Oh my god.
They're all going to just
Cheers to you, Fresh Off the Boat. Here you go.
Cheers.
Oh God. Okay, so we have a question. What's your question?
Are we going to see more Phillip in this season or possibly in season 2?
So the question is, are we going to see more Phillip? Ali, can you answer? I don't know.
Unfortunately. Oh yes, we are. We are going to see him in another episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
we will
yay.
see him in one episode.
Wow,
It's
this is
small, but
delicious.
he'll be in another episode. Yes.
Why are you making that face, bro?
Because it tastes like Robitussin, man.
Yeah.
It's like, what the-
This is the taste
Again,
of America right here.
That's
Come
the
on.
big lesson to all the Asian kids who feel all like isolated because they're lunch food. You are loved. You get the good shit.
I
This
know.
white people food is fucking
Kids,
nasty.
if you're in the lunchroom coveting this, you're totally misguided,
yeah,
man.
it's full of BPA.
Eat the sticky tofu.
Horrible.
Like, oh,
Eat the sticky tofu. You'll live till you're
eat mom's
1,000.
lunch. This is the Lunchables of this is garbage, dude.
0% fruit juice.
It's fruit and drink.
We're not going to get slammed by some kind of
I guess we're not.
Kool-Aid.
I guess we're not getting sponsorships
no
from these guys.
sponsorship. No sponsorship. Oh my God.
Yeah. So
We should-
yes, Phillip Goldstein will be back.
Good.
Awesome.
Good. I love that Don Lee too. When I said I'm going to drink this Kool-Aid, said don't do it
Don't
on
do
Twitter.
it.
Yeah.
Too late, Don. I just saw your tweet. It didn't
Ugh.
work.
Straight up drinking diabetes.
I
Gross.
know.
So
It's
sweet,
actually-
it turned into
Honestly,
medicine.
it's actually not.
Just now.
It's not sweet. It just tastes like medicine. It's like it's
does.
gross. Yeah.
It does.
you,
Um,
you won't cough for the rest of your life.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
got tussin in me
It
now.
coated your throat forever.
Lainey's suggesting spiking it with vodka, but I don't know if this is that kind of show. Come on, vodka. But we want to shout out Visual Communications, who allows us to do our show here. So yay!
Hello.
By the way, if you're out there watching this, whether you're watching it live or archived, go to vconline.org and donate, because they are amazing longtime supporters of Asian Pacific Americans in media and the arts, and they host the Asian Pacific American Film
So
Festival.
Los
in
Angeles, if you're in
Angeles.
LA, April 23rd through 30th,
Yes.
go to the Los Angeles Asian Pacific Film Festival, and you'll see. If you're interested in seeing more stories of Asian America on screen,
I know.
go to the film festival.
Yes.
Check it out. We'll be there.
Anything you want to pitch for or let us know
Plug or-
about?
yeah.
Plug.
No.
At
That's
Ali
it,
Wong
yeah.
3000.
Oh,
Ali
my-
Wong 3000.
My Twitter's at Ali Wong 3000. My website is aliwong.com.
Sweet. And she's always doing shows, so if you catch
She's
her,
hilarious.
super funny.
Do you have an episode? You have an episode coming up?
I have an episode coming up. It's episode 11, and it's about superstition.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Ooh.
Looking forward to that.
Yes.
Is there going to be Chinese superstition involved?
A little bit, maybe.
I
Yeah.
love Chinese
Yes.
superstition stuff. That shit is crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Like ghost stories and freaking,
We're gonna have to come up with a list of our own for that for
Oh
the
my
post show
God.
for that.
yeah. We should
Superstition
prepare.
stuff.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
share some insider.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We any last thoughts from our audience? Questions? Anything? We're about to wrap up soon. Forever hold your peace. All right, y'all. We want to thank everybody out there who's watching, tuning in, and tweeting with the hashtag #FreshOffTheShow. You can continue to tweet at that hashtag throughout the week, and we'll continue the conversation. We want to thank Ali Wong, our special guest. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And our awesome studio audience.
Yes. FYI, I think next week is going to be a rerun of the pilot, so I think we're not going to be on doing the show next week, which is the 17th, I think.
Yeah, but
So-
the 24th
Yeah.
after that.
So go ahead and watch it, and go and then watch our our first show. Or no, we didn't do a show for the pilot. Oh, well, whatever.
Oh, okay.
You'll see us in 2 weeks. We'll be back here doing it again, and we'll see you then. All right.
So 2 weeks. See you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.
March
Fresh Off the Show.
24th.
Right after Fresh Off the Boat. Peace, everybody. Stay
Peace
fresh.
out. Bye.